Everybody, Questwise here, and I'm on my way to my friendly local game store, and I thought I would bring you along for the ride. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the channel and where we're headed and the things that we're doing. At the time of this recording, we are literally like 14, 15 people away from the 1,000 subscriber mark, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who's subscribed, everybody who's shared the channel, everybody who's a fan, everybody who's really enjoying the stuff I'm putting out, and I hope that you are. I hope if there's something you want to see from the channel, please put your comments in the notes down below. I really want to move forward with some different ideas for the channel. I do a lot of reviews. I do a lot of initial thoughts on games and stuff as well. But I want to start adding a little bit more content as well to the overall part of the channel. I know I mentioned before that once I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, I'm going to throw a big live party, and by that I mean that I'm going to get together a bunch of my local friends, and we'll broadcast the party live via YouTube, so that all you subscribers who do not live in the local area where I'm at can have a chance to sort of look in a little bit of the behind the scenes of what Questwise really is. And we'll do some actual live play games that day. We'll do some Q&A. We'll do some giveaways. I really want to give some stuff away. We've got some great stuff lined up for the giveaways and stuff. I've got some stickers and some possibly t-shirts and hats, as well as some gift certificates, online gift certificates to hook you up with some games and some books and stuff as well. But that's coming up soon. Time and date for that will be, to be determined, depending on when we, safely hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, and I can find a place to actually hold the event at. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, one of the items that I want to add to the channel soon, maybe an ongoing sort of new feature to the channel, is last night I was with my wife and we were at a concert here in our local hometown, and it got me to thinking about the art of storytelling and about how we as a culture, as a group of people, as just human beings, are natural storytellers. And for me, and maybe you've gathered this if you've watched a lot of my videos, maybe you've kind of gathered this idea. But the thing that I love most about role-playing games is not only the escape of reality for me, not only just the aspect of camaraderie, but it's more than that, and it's really the ancient art of storytelling, and the idea that we're conquering and collaborating on different issues and different storylines together and creating new mythos. And that's what I really love about role-playing games, is that aspect of sort of a collaborative way for people to get together and to create something from nothing. And so what I was thinking of doing is a new part of the channel, a new series on the channel, I guess, if you will, that's going to be called The Wisdom of the Quest. And it's basically going to be my thoughts on role-playing games and storytelling as a whole, and tips and tricks that I use, that I've learned, places that I've learned those things at, where you can go to find those things as well too. I don't claim to be a master storyteller. I don't claim to be, the be end and of all things of how to role play. But if you like the things that I like, if you like the way that I like to tell stories, that I like to play role playing games, I hope that you'll enjoy this new sort of mini series or function of the channel, or whatever it's going to be. But I thought I'd start today and I'd talk a little bit about this concert that I saw last night and the things that it kind of spurred me. But one of the singers said that they're a big fan of the show Forged in Fire, and I'm sure many of you have seen the show. She described it as being sort of chopped for weapon nerds, and I guess it's pretty accurate. But she was talking about this one episode where they were talking about Damascus steel and how that still today, even to this day, we've sort of mastered that art, or maybe not have mastered that art, but we continue to create Damascus steel weapons, knives, swords, items, using that ancient technique, and how that was something that got passed down over the centuries, and something that we still today as a collaborative group continue to do. And it got me to thinking that the art of storytelling is not new, and it didn't begin in the 1970s with the birth of Dungeons and Dragons. It went well before that. I studied classics and history in college, and I got to be able to sort of look in on those ideas of storytelling and bardic knowledge, if you will, that's been passed down from generation to generation via, usually early on at least, through memorization and word to mouth, and stories like Beowulf and the Iliad, things that were traveling from town to town and city to city and region to region, and would be retold, and some things would be removed, some things would be added. It definitely became those kinds of stories became a product of their time or their location. Something like, especially Beowulf, and we're not really sure to this day who the original author of Beowulf was, but if you study the text of Beowulf, you'll realize that it was not written, it may have been written by one person, but it was not the final product that we have today was not something that was created by a single person, because it contradicts itself, and you can tell that there are changes in the tempo of the poem, there are changes in the structure of the wording, and so it's very evident that it's not that it over time, having been passed around, it definitely changed. Some things were probably removed and some things were probably added. For instance, it talks a lot about sort of the gods and about powers greater than man and such in certain parts, and then in other parts it talks about the very concept of a Christian God, and it's believed that maybe a Christian monk at one point was privy to the manuscript and had rewritten parts of it and destroyed the old parts to try to introduce Christianity to this epic story of monsters and mayhem. If you haven't ever had a chance to read Beowulf, I highly recommend it. Ripping good yarn in fantasy literature, but very structured as an epic poem. But in that regards, I was thinking to myself, it's really interesting to me that that's the same thing that we do with role-playing games, and I know that when you first sit down on the table for your very first session ever, the first time you've ever had a chance to role-play, and if you can remember back to that time, everybody had that chance. Everybody had that moment in their career as a role player to experience role-playing for the very first time in their lives. It's a pretty terrifying and confusing moment of here's a sheet of paper with a bunch of words and numbers on it, and I'm going to translate that using my imagination into a storyline, and but we're going to do it together. And so it's if you can remember that, and I vividly remember my first time, it was exhilarating, it was terrifying, it was something altogether new and different, and I knew I wanted to do it for a very, very long time. And so if you can remember that moment, and then now think of yourself today as if you're a game master, dungeon master, whatever you want to call it, or if you're still just a player, this series is going to be for you. This is going to be for that journey, that quest of how you've gotten to today. And I hope that those kinds of things help a lot. That you've borrowed and you've changed, and you've learned techniques from people and other folks and made them your own, and maybe you've kept some of those ideas, and maybe some of those ideas you've changed for better or for worse. But role-playing games and storytelling are a very evolutionary type of a creature, and it does grow and change and become a completely different thing every time that we play, and it becomes something different in everybody's mind all the time. So with that in mind, that's going to be sort of the basis of the new idea, the wisdom of the quest part, and I hope you join me for that, because I'm really excited about bringing it to you. So we are here at TC Paintball in Traverse City, Michigan. TC Paintball and TC War Room. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. But if you like this channel and you like what I'm doing, the things I'm putting out, and you like this video, please share, subscribe if you haven't already, like this video, give it to your friends, and I hope to see you all at the 1,000 subscriber party as soon as we get that put into place. But until next time, I'm Questwise, and I'm out.